students. Today we will be discussing the remaining part of the story The MCC by R.K. Narayan. So after the portion that we discussed, what did we come to know about from that portion? That this MCC, it's nothing but a team of some young boys, and they were trying to write a letter to a shop that is located in Madras. Remember the name of the shop. And they were really facing much problems regarding spelling, regarding the structure, not structure, regarding how to write, how to address the shop owner and everything. There are lots of information that you are going to get if you go through the text very minutely, and you need to do that if you want to score good in the MCQ portion, right? Like settling into the secret annex, this chapter also is a, what should I say, besides being though settling into the secret annex, it is informative, but at the same time you need to apply your own thoughts and ideas. But here basically what you need to understand is the information you need to remember, and after that you need to understand obviously like Rajam's character, which gets reflected through a number of points mentioned in the text. I have discussed that in the live class, like from the portion where Rajam at the end of the letter he mentions the term captain twice with his name. It reflects something regarding his character. I think in group A I forgot to discuss it. You please remind me about this, and I will discuss it with you. I think in group B we just had this discussion. Okay, today they tried to get this. Okay, what were they trying to get? They received Shankar's letter, and they were trying to get Shankar's address from that letter, but no. The portion that has been mentioned in your book, from that portion you come to know that no, they could not discover that address, and God knows whether they could send the letter or not. No clear indication has been given. Anyway, what happens after that? The MCC and its organizers had solid proof that they were persons of count when a letter from Beans came addressed to the Captain MCC Malguri. So, they sent a letter to Messrs. Beans, and they thought, they considered, or they started to think that yes, we are a team of count. Means what? We have a value as a team. Okay, we have a dignity, we have a gravity as a team. Why? Because Mr. Beans, okay, now from Beans, from that shop, they sent a letter which was addressed to the captain of MCC Malguri. Okay, it was a joy. They actually didn't expect. Suppose tomorrow someone, a very notable person sends you a letter. Suppose you have sent her or him a mail and you got a response. Suppose you got a response. What will be your reaction? Right? Same thing happened with them. They didn't expect probably. It was a joy touching that beautiful envelope and turning it over in the hand. Okay, Beans were the first to recognize the MCC, and Rajam took a vow that he would buy every bit that his team needed from that great farm. So it was a great and famous farm, and they became so overjoyed that Rajam, as a captain, he promised his team, he promised himself that we are going to buy each and every equipment that we are going to need to play properly. There were three indications, suggestions in this letter, that not direct suggestions, implications meaning I think it has been given, indirect suggestions, something like that. See, some that is yes, indirectly stated, indirect suggestions from which you can easily get some idea. Three implications in this letter that filled Rajam and his friends with rapture. That first one, His Majesty's Post Office recognized their team was proved by the fact that the letter addressed to the captain was promptly delivered to him. So I guess His Majesty's Post Office, maybe it indicates the branch of the post office, and they recognized this particular team named MCC. How did they come to know that? That yes, the post office recognized them. When they saw the post office members, they saw that it is supposed to be delivered to the captain of MCC. It was promptly, it was directly, very smoothly delivered to them only. So they knew who is the captain of MCC. They knew which thing, what is the thing MCC. What the thing MCC is. They had clear idea. Okay, this was the first implication. Second one, that they were really recognized by such a magnificent firm as Beans of Madras was proved by the fact that Beans cared to reply in a full letter and not on a card and actually typed the letter. So they thought that they were really recognized by such a wonderful firm. How did they come to know that? Actually, some facts are proven by some other implications. So you need to remember which thing has been proven by which implication. Okay? Anyway, so how did they come to know that they were recognized by Messrs. Beans? Because see, I'm telling you, Beans cared to reply in a full letter. Okay, he typed the whole letter. The authority typed the whole letter and he just didn't send a card or something like that, a ready-made thing. He actually took out time and he gave his own effort to type the full letter. This was really overwhelming for those young boys. Okay. Beans sent under another cover carrying 4 annas postage a huge catalogue. What a tribute. So he also sent a catalogue which took the postage, which took the charge of 4 annas. So he invested some money also, which was not needed at all. He was not gaining any profit, rather he invested something. Okay, so they considered it to be a tribute. Okay. Next, okay, annas, a former monetary unit of India and Pakistan, equal to 1/16 of a rupee. Okay, so they became overwhelmed that they have given us such respect, such a tribute. Oh my God, they were feeling like this. Anyway, the letter informed the captain that Messrs. Beans thanked him for his letter and would be much obliged to him if he would kindly remit 25% with the order, and the balance could be paid against the VPP of the railway receipt. You need to check the meaning of VPP. See, similar to cash after delivery, here payment was made to the postal department or the railway against the receipt. Cash on delivery, I hope you understand during this age of online shopping and all. Cash on delivery, I am sure that you understand. Here the same thing will happen through the railway receipt or something like that. So Messrs. Bean, what did he say? That he would be very much thankful if the boys could pay or send at least 25% of the whole amount, okay, of the bill before, if they could prepay 25% of the whole amount, and then he would send all the equipments that they wanted to order, and after that the remaining balance, the remaining money that they could pay as a cash on delivery through the railway receipt. This was the main idea. Okay, he wanted prepaid, he wanted to tell them that you need to prepay 25% only, and after that I will send those equipments, and then after those are being delivered, you can send me the remaining money through VPP. Okay. Alright. 3 heads buzzed over the meaning of this letter. So they they tried to understand what this particular letter meant. They wanted to understand all the things mentioned in the letter with so much excitement, with so much readiness. Okay. Wait, I'm just losing the sentences again and again. Yeah, the trouble was that they could not understand whether Beans was going to send the goods or not. After reading the whole letter, they understand nothing actually. They could not even understand whatever Bean said, they didn't understand a single word. They didn't even understand whether Beans was going to send the equipments or not. So I hope from this particular sentence you can easily understand that they understood at nothing at all. At nothing at all. Money promised to unravel the letter if somebody would tell him what obliged meant. Okay, so Money claimed that this particular term obliged, I don't know the meaning of this. If any of you can tell me the meaning of obliged, I can unravel, I can just tell you whatever has been written in this particular letter. Okay, what they turn? Okay, so Money promised that he would tell the meaning, he would totally clarify the meaning of the whole letter, only the point of problem, that was the particular term obliged. So they started to find out they tried to find out the meaning of the term. When they turned the pages of a dictionary and offered him the meaning, he was none the wiser. He was none the wiser. It means he could not, it was of no use. He could not tell anything. Okay. The level where he was before, he remained at that level only. He turned no wiser. He felt that it was a meaningless word in that place. One thing is clear, said Raja. Beans thanks us for our letter. So I don't think this letter could mean a refusal to supply us goods. Okay. Swaminathan agreed with him. Just because they could realize that Beans is thanking them for the letter, so it means he is not refusing. The tone suggests that he is not refusing. Swaminathan agreed with Raja. Yes. That is right. If he did not wish to supply you with things, would he thank you? He would have abused you. Why would he abuse them? I don't know. Okay, so this was Swaminathan's idea that yes, Rajan, you are right. He has thanked us. It means it's not a refusal. Otherwise, he would have abused us. Even if someone rejects you, refuses to give you something, why would he or she abuse you? I don't understand. Okay, very funny. He scrutinized the letter, investigated kind of. Again, to make sure that there was no mistake about the thanks. Okay, so at that point they wanted to be very much certain about the thanks part, that he is thanking us now, then we would understand that he is not giving a refusal. Why has the fool used this word? Now he has become a fool for them. Money asked, referring to obliged, which he could not pronounce. He could not even pronounce that word. It has no meaning. Is he trying to make fun of us? He says something about 25%. I wish I knew what it was, said Rajam. Swaminathan could hardly contain himself. He could not restrain himself, control himself. He was going to say something and could not control himself. He said ultimately, I say, Rajam, I am surprised that you cannot understand this letter. You got 60% in the last examination. Now Swaminathan is claiming, Rajam, you are such a good student. You got 60% in the last examination and now you can't understand this little letter. I don't understand. I can't imagine. This was his reaction. Have you any sense? What has that to do with this? Even a BA cannot understand this letter. Okay. Rajam is claiming, yes, I got, so what? Are you out of your senses? Even a BA, graduate. Okay, college pass. Bachelor in Arts, that is BA. Even a BA student cannot understand this letter. What are you saying? Okay, then I can't understand. In the end, they came to the conclusion that the letter was sent to them by mistake. As far as they could see, the MCC had written nothing in their previous letter to warrant such expressions such as obliged, remit and 20%. So they were thinking and ultimately they came to the conclusion that what did we write in the last letter that can invite such words in response like remit, 25%, obliged. What did we write? Okay, so I think they all agreed that it was sent to them by mistake. See what is the situation? It could not be that the great farm of beans was trying to make fun of them. Swaminathan pointed out to the captain MCC at the beginning of the letter, but he was told that it was also a part of the mistake. He pointed out something correctly, but he was somehow told that no, it is also a part of his mistake. This letter was put in a cover with a covering letter and dispatched. So they put that particular letter inside a cover and then cover with a covering letter. Then they wrote another letter and they dispatched it. The covering letter said, "We are very sorry that you sent me somebody's letter. We are returning this somebody's letter. Please send our things immediately." As if they are ordering Mrs. Beans. So what did they do? As they thought that it was somebody else's letter which was sent to them by chance, by mistake, they covered that particular letter inside another cover, and that covered letter, covering letter, they wrote on that paper that we are returning this somebody's else's letter and you send our things immediately. The MCC were an optimistic lot. They were so hopeful. Though they were still unhonored with a reply to their second letter, they expected their goods to arrive with every post. Who would reply? Who would give response to such a, that kind of letter that he wrote them that you just send 25% and I am going to send you all the equipment. They understood nothing and they did such an idiotic mistake, such a silly mistake. Who would take time to, who would give effort or give time to give response of such a letter? After 10 days, important, they thought they ought to start playing with whatever was available till they got the real bats, etc. The bottom of a deal wood case provided them with 3 good bats, and Raja managed to get 3 used tennis balls from his father's club. Okay, so 10 days passed. They did receive nothing, no letter, no equipments. Okay, so they decided that okay, let's start to play with whatever we are having right now. Like, they managed some things. You need to remember the things. And what happens after that? Let's see. The P was there. Now the P, who is this P? We need to check. The nickname of a boy called Samuel, a close friend and classmate of Swaminathan's. Okay, another friend, P. The real name was Samuel. This is important. The P was there offering 4 real stamps that he believed he had somewhere in his house. He believed that, okay, I think I have 4 real stamps in my house somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere they are there in my house. So I will provide. Okay. A neat slip of ground adjoining Rajam's bungalow was to be the pitch. So a patch of ground. They decided to play there, to use that as the pitch. Everything was ready, even if Beans took a month more to manufacture the goods, especially for the MCC, as they faintly thought probable. So what did they start to think? That they were thinking, I think Mrs. Beans is preparing special equipments which will be made specially for MCC. That's why he is taking so much time. So no problem, until he sends them, let him take whatever time he wants. Let him make the special equipments for us. Then When he will send, we will play with them, but right now we should start playing with whatever we are having. Okay, so they started to think in that way. Obviously, they were an optimistic lot. Okay. By the time the real bats and the balls arrived, they would be in form to play matches. Rajam had chosen from his class a few who he thought deserved to become members of the MCC. So he was the captain, so he got to choose some members, other players for their team. So from his class, he chose some boys, some batchmates whom he thought that yes, they deserve to be in our team. At 5 o'clock on the opening day, the MCC had assembled all except the P for whom Rajam was waiting anxiously. P promised now that he would provide those 4 real stumps. They were waiting for him anxiously. He had promised to bring the real stumps. It was half an hour past time and yet he was not to be seen anywhere. Already half an hour late. At last, his puny figure was discovered in the distance. There was a catch in Rajam's heart. When he saw him, he was anxiously waiting and he was not coming. Then when his stature could be seen somewhere at distance, he got his life back as if. He strained his eyes to find out if the P had the things about him. Means those 4 stumps. But since the latter was coming from the west, he was seen in the blaze of the evening sun. Okay, sometimes it happens now in too much blazing sun. Under too much blazing sun, you can't see things properly. I mean, things become blackish, so you can't see them properly. It happens. So same thing happened with Rajam also. He could not see whether he was carrying the stumps or not. All the 12 assembled in the field shaded their eyes and looked. Some said that he was carrying a bundle while some thought that he was swinging his hands freely. Okay, they were guessing. Okay, whatever they could see, they were guessing. When he arrived, Rajam asked, "Why didn't you tell us that you had not got the stumps?" When he arrived, everybody could see that he didn't get the stumps. And Rajam was furious. "Why didn't you tell us that you had not got the stumps?" "I have still got them," protested the P. "I shall bring them tomorrow. I am sure my father knows where they are kept." Even now he is saying, I know. I don't know. It means his father knows. "I have got them. You don't worry. I will bring tomorrow." "You kept us waiting till now. Why didn't you come earlier and tell us you could not find them?" Yes, irresponsible behavior, don't you think? "I tell you, I have been spending hours looking for them everywhere. How could I come here and tell you and at the same time search?" Silly conversation. Okay, he was like, "I was searching, now how can I search and come at the same time?" Silly conversation. A cloud descended upon the gathering for over 20 hours. Here cloud doesn't mean cloud in the sky. Here cloud means a gloomy kind of state, gloomy state of mind. They were disheartened now. For over 20 hours, everyone among them had been dreaming of swinging a bat and throwing a ball, and they could have realized the dream but for the P's wickedness. Everybody looked at him sourly. Okay, as if, when the date was decided that from this particular day we will be practicing, everybody started to dream like we will be swinging our bats and we will give 6 runs, 4 runs, dreams, alright. And as if all the dreams got shattered just because P didn't bring those stumps. They were behaving like that and they were looking at P not with a very gentle look. Okay. He was isolated. Nobody wanted to talk to him. Rajam felt like crying when he saw the wood planks and the tennis balls lying useless on the ground. What a glorious evening they could have had if only the stumps had been brought. Okay, just because the stumps were not there, they could not start playing. They were behaving in this way. Otherwise, everything was fine. Everyone was absolutely prepared just because of the stumps. Okay. This was their thought. Amidst all this gloom, somebody cast a ray of light by suggesting that they might use the compound wall by Rajam's bungalow as a temporary wicket. Ultimately, someone said this. Okay, this easy thing. A portion of the wall was marked off with a piece of charcoal, and we do know these things like on the ground also we draw lines and everything whenever we need to play. So they did the same thing with charcoal. And the captain arranged the field and opened the batting himself, obviously. Swaminathan took up the bowling. He held a tennis ball in his hand, took a few paces and threw it over. After running a few paces, he threw it over. Rajam swung the bat but missed it. The ball hit the wall right under the charcoal mark. Means what? That was the wicket. If the ball hit under the charcoal mark means bowled. Rajam was bowled out with the very first ball. There was a great shout of joy. The captain was bowled out by whom? Swaminathan at the very first ball. The players pressed around Swaminathan to shake him. Pressed around Swaminathan to shake him means to appreciate him, to like, hooray, you have done a great job and all those things. And pat him on the back. He was given on the very spot the title Tate. Now who is this Tate? A famous English fast bowler. Okay, so the story has been ended abruptly, I would say. I'm sure there are events which have not been mentioned here. Okay, so go through the whole text minutely, and I'm not sure whether today you are watching this video, okay, whether today you are going to get any worksheet or not. If you get, check once. I'm not giving any study material. If you are getting any worksheet, check once and solve it. Now I am going to give you a revision regarding settling into the secret annex. You need to memorize the information, as I told you that particular text also is really informative, and the author's introduction, please don't skip that part. In any case, all the text you need to go through the author's or poet's introduction, okay? That part is important. And I mean the dates mentioned in that particular text, that is also important, and you need to memorize what a diary is. Because you are reading someone's diary, you need to know what a diary is. And here you can see that how important the diary was for Anne Frank. Now why? Okay, why was the diary so important, or how do you come to know that that diary was important? There are implications from which you come to know that the diary was important for her. So those implications are important, and the diary, the thing what a diary is, you need to know that very well. The dates, when did they go to the hiding, when did they got caught, or how many people, fruits, name of fruits that have been mentioned, which thing was used for who, which purpose, which men helped him, for what. All those things are really very much important from that from that particular text. And the descriptive questions I have already discussed. But one thing let me tell you, from each text I have told you that you need to recognize which particular sentence is told by whom. Now I am not going to give you a sentence like I tell you. This is not an important sentence. Obviously it has importance in the text, but suddenly if I quote sentences like I tell you, you will not be able to recognize. So important sentences you need to know in which context it is told, by whom, to whom, why, and everything. Okay, it's not possible to quote each and every sentence from the worksheet. This time it's not going to happen. So ideas should be very much clear, and other chapters I have given the questions, MCQ kind of questions in the revision worksheet. So this chapter was remaining today or on Tuesday, or maybe this week on Monday. I'm not promising, but I will try to provide the answers from the MCC on Monday in an extra video or in an extra study material. You need to go through them and we need to discuss them on Tuesday. Okay, if I provide them on Monday, you need to go through them and prepare them or modify them. I mean, whatever queries you are having, you need to tell me on Tuesday. We can't take risk. Why? Because the exam date it's not decided yet, I guess, but it's not far. It's coming soon. Right, the exam is coming soon, so we never know which class is going to be the last class, so we can't take risk. So I will try my best to provide the answers on Monday. Your homework is you are going to try to frame the answers of each and every question provided in the worksheet, okay, in your book, and then I will provide the answers. Again, I'm telling I will try to provide them on Monday. If I provide, you will be notified and check them. Whatever query you will have after that, you ask me on Tuesday. Okay? And after Tuesday, if you face any query, you try to clarify each and everything on Tuesday. And if it becomes the last class, I don't know, but just in case it happens, I'm telling you, if you find that it becomes the last class, then you need to contact me through mail or something, only if it's an emergency. The things that I have discussed in video and live class, I will not repeat. It means you have not watched the video, you have not concentrated in the live class. That's not done. Okay? And revision worksheet, the previous one, I am sure that you have submitted, all of you. And this one where maybe today or on Monday or on Tuesday, where I will revise the last thing, that is Anne Frank's chapter. Submit the revision worksheet and descriptive questions. Go through them properly, modify them. I have provided almost all the answers. Some are left for you. And go through the text minutely. That's the most important thing. Okay? So bye bye. We will be meeting in the live class.